All right. We are back again, guys. This video is going to be a little different, okay?
Yeah.
This is not about a current event right now. This is about a podcast that I caught that I wanted to show Gabrielle, and it is with this dude, Dr. John, who does like relationship stuff.
Okay.
And he had a guy call in who wanted to get advice because he is currently sleeping with his best friend's wife.
Love
and
that.
he wants John to weigh in on that situation. And this, first of all, I had never seen this guy's channel before, and he crushes this, like where I was like, wow, this guy's awesome. And also the dude who called in, it is such a mind-blowing phone call that I'm like, I just have to show Gabrielle, and I would be remiss to not make an episode out of this.
So we'll watch it together.
Yep. So if you don't mind subscribing to the channel, guys, that would be very helpful to us and to you if you want to, know when we upload, etc. And then you got to ring the bell and click all notifications.
Just do all the things.
If you want to know every time we upload, that's, how it happens. Okay. So here we go. Listen to this.
For about 5 years, and in that time frame, I was able to reconnect with a friend of mine that I had made, a male friend of mine that I had made after high school and whatnot. Started to kind of hang out with him, and found out kind of through hanging out with him that his wife kind of made a pass at me, and we have been in an affair now for the last probably 8 months or so. We've obviously talked about just about everything under the sun, and I guess I'm trying to figure out, am I interested in this person, or is it just the thrill of having an affair and doing something obviously that, you're not supposed to do. And so I'm trying to figure out how to figure that out. Because, I just want a little bit of advice on how to progress forward with that.
Okay, hang on. So first of all, the very first thing that I said to myself, and I think I commented this, let me see. Yeah. This guy is an oblivious, self-centered moron who called in without disguising his voice.
Or his name and where he lives.
I hope his friend drowns him on a fishing trip, then makes it look like an accident. But this is a podcast. So just on YouTube, there's 1.3 million subscribers. And this dude just called in. Hey, man.
My name's Will. I live in Nashville, Tennessee.
I got nothing to lose if anybody hears me on this call. So I just wanted to call and see what you think.
I always wonder if these are real, but go ahead.
That's not a, I thought the exact same thing because it was so ludicrous, but, yeah, I don't know. But this,
like you're a special kind of dumb, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So let me just walk it back, and you can just tell me up or down. So you are sleeping with a great friend's wife.
Correct.
Does your friend know?
He does not.
Does your wife know?
She does not.
And so you're not calling me to ask, like, oh, God, I've blown up my life and my wife's life. And I've blown up one of my close buddies' lives. It's not why you're calling. You're calling to ask, is this true love or not?
I'm calling to ask because, in the time that I've chatted with this person, we've talked a lot more about the physical nature of things. And, there's been times where we've both had the idea that, our lives potentially could be better with that other person. But obviously that's not something that I don't want to jump into something, or I don't want it to technically pursue something, and then turns out it was just because of the thrill of an affair. I mean, my wife and I, we've had our struggles and our issues pre the involvement of the affair, or my friend almost called it off a few different times without that being a factor. So I think it was just kind of came across at the timing that I was the most
Say it crossed.
vulnerable to accept it. But yeah.
So the first thing that I would like to give commentary on is
Please.
this might be the most perfect example of when people are like, what does an actual narcissist sound like? Which is someone who is fundamentally oblivious to the damage that they do and they only think about themselves. You're like, there you go, dude. Like the guy literally called him out about it, you know? He's like, so you're not calling me to ask whether or not, you know, like how you feel about the fact that you just blew up your own marriage, your wife's life, your best friend's life, and the girl you're supposed to care about. You're calling to ask if it's true love. And he's like, well, yeah. And then he follows it up. And he's like, you know, what I really need to understand is, you know, self-interest, like in the face of, you know, you know what I mean? It's like one of the craziest things I've ever heard in my entire life.
It's like talking to a teenager.
And a person who clearly maybe wants to get caught. You know, I will say this, even if like I think his response to this is so genuine that I actually believe that at the very least, even if it's not real, he doesn't know, and he also doesn't because the beginning of his take is like not very well structured, which means he definitely did not like
prepare.
Yeah, because then it gets much better.
So I guess the best thing I could tell you, or the right thing I could tell you, is you are so what it's like you're watching The Lion King. You're watching like a Disney movie in the theater, and you're watching these animals all talking to each other, and you're wondering what it would be like to talk to one of those animals too. Like,
Okay.
Your questions are so divorced from the reality with which you actually find yourself that it tells me that you've had to construct a world where this is okay, and there's a world that everything's going to be okay on the other end of this, because if you didn't have that kind of psychological moat around what you're actually doing, you would implode because you become somebody that you could never have imagined you would be. You're sleeping
that makes sense.
You're sleeping with one of your closest friends' wives. Period. You're actively for over a year having sex with somebody that's not your wife, putting her at physical danger, putting her at grave emotional danger. I mean, like, and what you're thinking about is, man, isn't this going to be wonderful on the other side of this thing? It's kind of like watching. It's like you're in Los Angeles right now, watching your house burn down, and wondering where you're going to put the new kitchen during the rebuild.
Right.
Like you're not absorbing reality. And so, number one, no place in this conversation are we talking about how are these feelings real or not. Not until we've looked your wife in the eye and said, I've blown our marriage up and I don't want to be with you anymore. Not until you've looked your buddy in the eye and said, I've been sleeping with your wife for a year and I'm sorry. And after the ash settles back to earth, after that conversation, those conversations, then you can ask yourself, okay, are we in a relationship? Are we going to try to build this thing and make it go and move forward together? Which the percentages on that, just the scientifically, the percentages of those relationships being successful are very, very, very low.
Yeah, built on a bulletproof foundation of trust.
Yeah. My word. I like this guy.
Me too, dude. Me too. We'd be friends with him for sure.
Yeah.
But like that whole thing is like, how on earth do you get into an affair relationship with your friend's wife that you hang out with all the time? Like, I have never understood. You're like, what do you do when you guys are all just hanging out? Like, you just act like, you know, you're holding hands with your wife and you're just kind of like, ha, 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 la, 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 la.
Yeah.
Weird eye contact. You like, no eye contact, girl. Like,
yeah.
It's a level of I don't even know what to do with it, dude. And by the way, at the very beginning, you know what he said? He's all, I found out through him that she had made a pass at me. You're all, what? That's what he said. He's all, I found out through my friend that she had made a pass at me. You're all.
I heard him say that he heard that she made, I didn't hear it was from the
He said
friend.
from the friend. You're all.
It's a weird, messed up group of friends, dude.
Yeah. I mean, the only other situation I know of like this.
Could you imagine telling one of your friends that I made a pass at them?
No. That's not a thing that would happen.
Well, obviously it would never happen, but like, why would you volunteer that
It doesn't make any sense.
So weird.
The entire thing makes no sense. You know, it's crazy though. Like,
get it together.
Sorry. I mean, the thing is, like, we witnessed this whole thing with like people we were very close friends with. You know, one of them with a coworker that they were with all the time, traveling with, whatever, affair with the coworker.
Yeah.
Many kids, 4 kids with the spouse, and then they went with the coworker, blew up their families. She, well, it's a dude, the one that left. She, the girl from the work, had a husband and 2 kids. He had a wife and 4 kids. One of them was like 8 months old. And the craziest thing about that was I went golfing with, like, he like was always trying to get her, like he was trying to get her to hang out with his new girl. And she's like, I'm never hanging out with her. I'm going to tell you that right now. Like, this is not a thing that's happening. Like, we're not I'm never going to be friends with her. I'm not doing that. Like, I don't care if she's the coolest chick on earth.
Yeah, I'm not doing that to my friend.
Exactly.
Ever.
And so he slipped her on me. He invited me golfing. And then when we got there, she was there with us, and because she plays golf. And I was like, damn, that was slick. And I like to do this every time I tell this story like this. Okay. What would be the most surprising in this situation, or kind of like the most impactful? Okay. Let's say that the girl is way hotter than his wife. Right. And like, personalities more like whatever, or way less attractive than the wife, or similar. And then I'm butchering this. She's the exact same person. She is the exact same person. Like, they are exactly like, they're, dude, if you're talking about how hot they are, you're talking about a matter of like decimals to a 100th. They are exactly the same attractiveness. Her personality is exactly like his wife's, where I was like, this is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And it just made me realize, like, that whole situation made me realize that, like, when that happens, it's almost never about the spouse. It's situational, dude. It's like, you go home to your wife and she's like, hey, who's going to drive the kids to school tomorrow? Hey, did you pay that bill? Hey, like, just because they had before this happened, I thought they had it all, dude. Like, they got along so well, like those two. I couldn't.
Yeah, they would be the couple that anyone would see and be like, oh my gosh, they're so adorable. They have such a great marriage, such a wonderful partnership.
Yep.
They're so happy. They were always entertaining.
Yep.
Like, we were always over at their house. And
it wasn't fake. Like, I could pick that up when it's
for
fake.
Sure.
They had been together since college,
both super fun, like outgoing
millionaires, just balling, like, just killing it. And yeah. And then that happened. So it's like, well, because hey, when you start hanging out, it's like, oh, this girl who's basically identical to my wife, but I hang out with her at work, and then you get drunk on a work trip, and it's like, well, I could go to my own room, or you come to my room, and then it's like Yahtzee, and then now it's like stringless romance,
Yeah.
It's like, well, of course she seems better than your wife. You guys have nothing but fun time together.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have no concerns whatsoever, except for, what time are we going to get out of this bar? It's like
being
I wonder if they're
again.
I wonder if they're still together.
No idea.
I have no idea at all. None. But
It was crazy.
yeah,
I didn't even touch my microphone.
I did that one.
Oh.
That was me. I did that one. Anyway, but yeah, so this Dr. John guy, I really like him. So then on this other episode that he did was
Wait, how does it end? Cliffhanger.
What do you mean? I mean, like
how does the guy end the conversation? Like, what
I
does
don't
he
know.
say?
But I'm also compassionate because I think you have created a delusion that you live in.
Yes.
And you use
I wouldn't disagree with that.
You use these huge circular, well, and then we might. Listen to me so carefully. You're having sex with another man's wife, and you're going home and you're laying in your bed next to yours. You're having sex with your buddy's wife, and then y'all go have dinner together as a foursome. That is where everything has to start. You can't be sleeping with somebody else's wife and trying to see if your marriage is going to make it. That's madness, Will. Madness. And you can't be hanging out with your buddy while you're banging his wife and be like, well, I'm trying to figure out if our feelings are right or wrong. Or what are you doing, man? You get what I'm saying?
No, he doesn't.
No, I get what you're saying. I think
so. Like today needs to be the day. Today needs to be the day that you tell your wife, we got to talk. I've been having an 8-month affair with our mutual friends.
With probably your best
and I've
friend.
blown our marriage to smithereens. Yes, we had problems. Yes, there were holes in the boat, and I detonated it. And you, being a grown man, need to say, I've already got me an apartment. I've already got me a friend's couch to crash on because I know I've blown your world up and I don't want you to have to move to. And maybe she comes back and says, well, I should probably tell you I've been sleeping with somebody else too. Maybe. Right? Maybe. Who knows? Is she having an affair too?
I would doubt it.
Okay.
Obviously, I don't know, but.
And then you ask your friend, I'm going to meet you in a diner here in Nashville, and we got to talk. Or you tell the woman you're having an affair with, hey, you got 24 hours because I got to come clean with my buddy. I've become somebody that I never dreamed I would be, and I have to stop.
I think that's where I've been struggling because it's like I have gotten far down the road, obviously, and I think in my mind I have this delusion that there is a different path out besides going back.
There's not a way to land the plane. There is no going back, but your fantasy about how this plane lands is false too. Both are true.
Listen.
So
there is one more option. One.
Knock it off and never say a word.
Never, not a single other time. Fucking burn her phone number. Yeah. Okay.
If you want to save your marriage, and
if you're
truly remorseful, and if
no. That's like, even if you don't want to save your own marriage, if it were me, I would never in a million years be in that situation ever. If I was single, I would never be in that situation ever. Okay. I'm not having sex with my friend's wife, dude. Okay.
It's just a good rule to live by.
But hypothetically, if I was in a coma for 8 months, woke up having been body snatched, okay, there's a world where I could be like, what do I think I should do here? Is like, okay, technically, their marriage is between them. I basically have to cut off my relationship with him slowly because I can't pretend to be this fucking guy's friend. Yeah. I need to cut it off with her and then leave it with her and then let her decide how she wants to handle it. But you are completely, like, it's over completely. Like, you can never see her again. You can never talk to her ever again.
Yeah.
You know, you can't remain friends with the guy. You're not friends with him. Like, that's the thing.
That's not your friend.
He's not your fucking friend, dude. He's your best friend. Oh, he's your best friend. Hey, how do you define friends? Well, we meet up and play golf together. Then you go fuck his wife. Okay? Like, that's not your friend. Yeah. You wouldn't do that. Like, that's the kind of thing, if you were being conscious of what you're doing, that's something you would do to your worst enemy. Okay? That's not your friend. Mm-hmm. And you have already broken that irreversibly. If he knew who you really were, do you think that you'd be friends? Like, I could say that literally my closest friends in the world, if they found out that I was all like secretly a serial killer, you think they'd be like, hey, still a really good buddy of mine. That shit's over, bud. But you want to know what that stupid fuck is probably going to do? Nothing.
Nothing.
Just continue as is until they get caught, which he probably did after this phone call.
Yeah. We need a Where Are They Now update.
I know, dude. Let's see the newest.
I want to see how it ends. Like, how do they close this call?
All right, hang on. Let's go to there and let's see.
So what I'll tell you is at the end of this thing, there's a fire. You can do a control burn right now and try. Or you can just wait till the whole thing goes up in smoke, but it's going to catch fire. It's already on fire.
Yeah, I think I spent too much time dancing around and trying to figuring out how to make the fire as small as possible when in reality the focus should be on that the fire is happening regardless.
And I need you to internalize in your guts, your house has already burned to the ground.
Yes.
Hers too.
And your
And
friendship.
your wife.
They're
your friend.
gone. They're over. The marriage you had is over. The marriage she had is over. The little play time y'all have together is over. Y'all have to decide what we're going to build next. But, bro, you've got to come back and re-anchor the ground, man. You've blown your life up, and you've blown her life up. And she's blown her life up. So, I don't know a way that you're going to sleep all night. I don't know a way that you're going to have peace at all until you sit down and have that conversation with your wife. Till you let her know you got 24 hours and I got to come clean with my buddy. Because I'm not going to be this guy anymore.
It's not your buddy.
And there's a high statistical probability that when the smoke clears, you've got nobody. You got no friend. You've got no girlfriend. You've got no wife.
Of course you have no
That's
friend.
a high probability. And then you'll have to choose to do the next right thing amid that ash. But man, stop with the verbal gymnastics. Stop with are these feelings real? But start with, I've cheated on you. And I blew our life up. I've been doing it for almost a year now. Through the holidays, through your birthdays, I was seeing somebody else. I was sleeping with our
You get the point. So remember how many times have we talked about this? The
About
difference
what?
between oopsie, I was in Vegas and slipped on a dick or whatever, and that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like those two things are not the same thing. Imagine how many
Both
fucking
are bad, just
lies.
to be clear.
Of course.
But yes, I agree.
You know? Like, there is a world where if something happened in Vegas and I saw like a video of you from that night and you were completely incoherent, like, and there, like you can't, I was just like, I reacted the way I reacted. And someone sent me a video like, you need to understand the state that she was in. And they showed me a video and you were literally falling over a chair. And I'm like, okay, maybe there's a world where like you can come back from that. Imagine the amount of lies that she's told that fucking her husband to do that for 8 months. Just and every time she lies, it's with the intention of having sex with his best friend. Like, dude, it's over. There's no,
Exactly.
But again, I will say, like, if he talked to her and they both wanted to save their marriages, you can just fucking, because like I also, if they really were going to like never do it again, never talk to each other, it's like I feel for the spouse, and like if the spouse was never gonna tell anyone, that they were just ever gonna come up, like, and they would never ever find out, and you never did it again. I mean, maybe that's the right thing to do. Although this person sounds like a fucking narcissistic psychopath.
And you have like two stupid people that are like never going to say anything. Not a very high probability of that.
I'm just empathizing with the other two
They're
who are
cooked.
innocent.
They are cooked.
I'm saying they're innocent though. Like, and it's like, just
yeah.
imagine what that's going to do to
Yeah.
them. That's where I come into like, maybe just don't, but like, it's a horrific. Don't do that, guys.
Cheaters are bad.
Look, I understand every one of my friends' wives is thinking about what it's like to sleep with me, but you're never going to find out.
Wow.
Just kidding, you guys, Jace. All right. Love you guys. Bye-bye.